Parents are speaking out following a scary situation today involving threats made to schools on Minot Air Force Base. Authorities detaining a person before they're able to enter the base. Kiona Rivera breaks down what we know and brings us reaction.
The 5th Bomb Wing Public Affairs said Monday there was no active shooter incident on Minot Air Force Base. This comes in response to an investigation into remarks made about threats and concerns shared on social media from parents of students who go to school on base.
Lisa Hermosillo's kids attend elementary and middle school on Minot Air Force Base. Hermosillo tells us she rushed to the base Monday afternoon when she saw a post on a military Facebook group about an active shooter threat towards the schools on base.
There were sheriffs closing it off, security forces.
The Ward County Sheriff's Office says they received a report of a person making concerning remarks about bombs and a threat to schools. They identified the subject and found out they were traveling to the base. Investigators asked base security to stop them at the gate if they arrived.
My heart sank.
The person was detained at the gate until deputies got there. According to the sheriff's office, the person did not have any weapons.
Now, over the years, you hear of school shootings happen all too often, and you pray every day that it doesn't happen at a school that your kids are at.
Hermosillo said friends who lived on base near the schools said law enforcement surrounded the campuses.
And I thought immediately that it finally hit home.
Security forces implemented increased security measures and conducted sweeps in an abundance of caution.
I'm forever grateful for that. It's a scary thing for everybody all around.
This incident remains under investigation.
The incident also prompted a temporary closure of the base's main gate. As of Monday afternoon, authorities had not identified the person detained, and it's unclear what, if any, criminal charges they will face.
We'll continue to follow that.